So one thing that I think everybody who knows me at Park will know is I'm from Buffalo, New York, originally. Grew up there, went to Syracuse University, went to grad school on Long Island, New York at Stony Brook. So spent, most of my life in New York State. Was it probably eight years ago? I was just applying for jobs and found this. So I didn't know anything about Park University. I looked it up on Google Maps and I was like, well, I didn't realize there was an underground piece of the university. So I was like, well, this doesn't look like there's a lot of buildings, and came here for an interview. The power went out during the interview, which was, I'm not sure if I would have gotten the job if that hadn't happened, because I think what I had planned for the little teaching demo was probably not as good as what actually happened, which ended up just being me and the search committee sitting in a circle in the dark talking about politics. And I think ultimately that's probably in some ways a metaphor for what kind of draws me to political science and politics, is just to have those conversations. It's weird. One of my earliest memories as a kid is I was playing with Legos, and my mom was watching Bill Clinton's inaugural. I think it was the nighttime thing where they had the little ball and he dances with the first lady or whatever. I don't know why I remember that, but just politics has always been really interesting to me. Sort of and particularly sort of the aspect of we have these people who want these, they want to be the most powerful person in the United States, and how do they present themselves, and how do voters react to those presentations? So that sort of whole dance, and sort of how power is acquired and transferred, and how people build political capital and then use it, and also, if I'm being honest, just there's a lot of funny things that happen in politics, right? Donald Trump recently came out and said that Trump said that gender transition surgeries were being done at school during school hours. Your kid goes to school and they have a gender reassignment surgery. And I was talking about that with my mom yesterday. We were just laughing so hard about how, because my mom's a public school teacher, so just laughing at how, because it's just ridiculous. Public schools are in some cases so underfunded, you can't even find a Band-Aid or a textbook that isn't 20 years old, but somehow they got full surgical wards in there. Obviously there's serious things, serious consequences of policy, and being able to talk about that with the students and see kind of what they value and what's important to them and how they perceive of the political environment is really interesting. But there's also just so much of it that's just funny. In grad school, I taught this pretty much the same class I teach now every semester, which is American government, but I taught it was one of those big lecture halls, it has 100 students. And so you feel like you don't really get to know them, you can't really have a conversation, you maybe hear from the 3 worst students and the 3 best students, and then there's 94 in the middle who you don't know at all. And so there were parts of it that of Park that appealed to me even then, but I think the thing about Park is once I got here and seeing, it's really about those relationships, right? Everybody is pulling in the same direction. The faculty, the staff, and just the ability to build those relationships is something that's really valuable. If you ask me what my favorite things about Park are, the first 15 or 20 would probably just be people. I do a lot of TV and radio interviews and stuff, just because political science is one of those disciplines where the media wants to talk to somebody. I started doing a lot of those sort of TV interviews probably my second year, third year at Park, and at one of the town hall meetings, this was under President Gunderson, I'm not actually sure who did it, they had fat heads made up of my head, and they had a little item about that, there was a bunch of people were holding up the fat heads, and actually I missed that meeting. I thought it was going to be available on Zoom, and then when it wasn't, I was like, well, I guess and actually I'm kind of glad that I missed it, because I don't pay attention like that. It's kind of but that type of thing was okay, it feels like I'm building a place for myself here. And I guess the other thing is there's just always so much to do. that and there's always, I feel like at Park on the academic side, we're always kind of pushing, and you know, we got a new applied social sciences degree, or we're reworking the political science degree, and there are always those students who, you know, there are always students who are 2 years away from graduation, right? No matter what year it is, and so you always, you know, just want to continue to be here because it feels like the story is never over, you know.